you picture this? You know, rocking with CYPT. Podcast of the D with Clay and the crew. It's like my CTV. They be giving game out so much, you could take the same route. Especially if you take risks, this YouTube view makes sense.
What up, though? What up, though? What up, though? You're listening to the CYPT podcast. It's the podcast of the strongest, fastest, most powerful print shop on this side of the Eastern Seaboard. Oh. Today we have with us, I'm just Niles.
It's your boy Boogie. It's your guy KH.
And today we have with us Donald Renfroe Sr., the Vice President of the Tuskegee Airmen of the West Bloomfield chapter. It is an honor to have you with us, sir.
Thank you. Glad to
truly,
be here.
Big
truly.
honor.
Okay.
For real, big honor. We don't usually get celebrities like this here, and I want to thank you for your service and everything that you've done for us.
Thank you.
And everything that you've done
Thank you.
for the country.
Thank you for the information you're about to provide us.
Okay, well, some of the information that I'm going to give you is fact.
100%.
Not Hollywood.
Yeah, speak a little bit more into the mic for us if you don't.
Like Hollywood.
Yep.
Trying to move the, yeah, there you go.
Okay.
Okay.
Perfect.
The Tuskegee Airmen. Tell us what made you enroll.
Okay, I'm going to tell you what happened, how I got involved with the Tuskegee Airmen.
Please.
It was back in 1961-62.
Okay.
And I was stationed at March Air Force Base, Riverside, California.
Okay.
Cali.
Yeah, SAC headquarters.
Oh, yeah.
B-52s, KC-135.
Oh, yeah.
Atomic bombs and all that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Heavy weapons.
Yep. So I'm going to give you a brief thing of how I wound up at March Air Force Base.
Please.
All right,
Okay.
please do.
I graduated from Cass Tech.
Nice.
Cass.
Yeah, I graduated from Cass Tech. And I always wanted to fly.
Okay.
So I said, well, I'm going to the Air Force because what's made it possible that my father was shot at Normandy.
Okay.
Oh, no.
And he received the Purple Heart.
Oh.
He was on the beaches?
He was, yes. And the reason why, and I'm going to tell you this, and you're going to wonder, how in the hell did he get shot in Normandy?
What happened?
He was a cook.
He was a cook and he got shot?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you have to remember, everybody went at the same time.
Medics, cooks, combat.
policemen, everybody.
See, I don't know, because I was always under the impression that if you went and you served, you were like a cook or a medic, that you were really kind of out the way of everything.
Militaries of the world weren't as sophisticated as far as logistics back then as they are now.
Okay.
So the rule was if your father got the what do you call
The Purple Heart?
Purple Heart, his firstborn child, if he had the brains, were able to get into Air Force Academy, Annapolis, West Point.
So it was like a grandfather effect.
That's it.
Okay.
So we went through all that process. And when I was at Cass Tech, I joined the ROTC.
Yes.
And I was one of the top
And you
people.
speaking his language. He
Oh,
did.
yeah.
He did ROTC.
I was the only black top NCO at Cass Tech.
Did you go to Cass too?
Mm-hmm. Back he different time.
Everybody in this room with the Cass but me.
Yeah, well, 1958, there weren't that many.
Time, yeah.
There weren't that many of us at Cass Tech. You know, I mean, you only got to Cass Tech if they had the grades and they sent you to Cass Tech. You just didn't go.
No.
What year did you graduate?
1962.
Oh, okay.
So right out of high school, you went right into the service.
Yeah, went straight on in. Okay. But anyways, I received ROTC and I did very well. And
did they provide you with that automatic promotion when you were transferred over from high school to the military? They gave you that leg up?
Well, yes, that's what happened.
Okay.
But since I had got the ROTC training, I went through basic training with one stripe. Mm-hmm. You went in as Airman Basic.
Oh, okay.
You know, I went in with one stripe. Mm-hmm. The boys, if you know who I'm talking about, couldn't understand that at all.
How you had a stripe.
How come
they didn't?
And they didn't have it.
Oh.
So they treated me.
I mean, persecution involved.
Yeah. fingers broke, got my tailbone kicked.
Oh, whoa.
Yeah,
Yeah, hazing was pretty bad.
Yeah, it was
Bad.
pretty hard. But if you applied, you got kicked out of the military. You didn't even finish basic training.
Okay.
So you kept your mouth shut if you wanted to go.
Because this is what you...
So you deal with it. And so I told him that I wanted to be, like I say, photographer and all that stuff, which I was. And I says, I want to go to, since they weren't going to let me fly, I wanted to go to aerial photography.
Okay.
And they said, okay, you can go. So
Nice.
everybody got their orders after basic training, except the 3 black guys out of 40-something people. And they called us in the office, and they told us the needs of the Air Force come first.
Oh,
I knew
that was the excuse.
I knew that I was sitting on a nail.
All right.
And so I says, okay, well, where are we going? You're going to SAC headquarters, Omaha, Nebraska. This is February. It's cold as hell. Okay. Then I says, okay, where is the other place you're going? You're going to SAC, March Air Force Base, Riverside, California. So it's February. California's hot. Nebraska is freezing. And so what are we going to do if I go to Nebraska, which is close to home? Well, you're going to be on the flight line as an air policeman watching the B-52s and the KC-135s.
Sweet.
I'm not going outside in cold weather.
Cold as hell.
So I said, well, what am I going to do in California? You're going to be a cook. Okay, well, I already knew how to cook. My mother taught me how to.
So you went to Cali?
So I went to March Air Force Base.
Okay.
And my dad told me how to cook ribs and pork chops and gravy and all that good stuff.
Okay.
My mother taught me, Creole. She taught me, what do you call it, jambalaya.
She taught you how to put your foot in it.
Oh, yeah, I knew how to do that stuff. And
So how was your transition from moving from Nebraska to California? What did you suffer the same type of hazing, or did
Well, when I went to California, it was different. I was supposed to be a cook, but I never cooked.
Oh, yeah, that happens a lot too.
They put
Does that?
Yeah.
They put me out in digging ditches and planting the grass and sweeping up, walking the flight line, getting the little nuts and bolts off the runway.
You never cooked.
Really?
You never cooked.
No, I was outside cleaning up. Dirty fingernails and, and all this stuff. And so what happened, one of the guys got sick that worked in the officers club. And the guy asked me, do you know how to cook? I said, yeah. So they sent me to the officers club. But I was cooking hamburgers and hot dogs for the kids.
Oh, this ain't even your...
It's not even my lane. It's not my job.
But it was all right.
Okay.
I mean, I'm cooking at the officers club. Hot
Meeting the
dogs.
higher ups, meeting the brass.
And so finally...
You're doing some networking.
Yeah. So finally, the general,
yes.
he heard me talking to one of the pilots, and I told him, man, I make a good corned beef and cabbage and ribs, and I make a good pineapple upside down cake and all this stuff. And he said, well, we're giving a party, and do you think you can cook? And, well, I made ribs, and I don't play. I have to make some ribs.
And I know how to make, you know how to make some ribs.
And next thing I knew, I was his intern.
Nice.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Wow.
In other words, wherever he went, I was on the plane going.
So you were almost like his XO. Almost.
Yeah,
so to speak, a little bit.
Yeah, in other words, I was his person.
Yep.
Okay.
Well, they got mad about that because I'd be in Japan.
Oh.
I'd be in
Wherever.
Singapore, Hong Kong.
So you've been all over this.
I've been all over the world. Wherever he goes, I go.
Wow.
And the thing was, he only asked a few things that when we landed, that I had to make sure that I checked in every day where I was. And
that wasn't an issue, I would imagine.
No, it wasn't an issue. He wanted his clothes laid out.
Okay.
He wanted his cigars. And he wanted his whiskey.
Oh, yeah.
That's all they asked.
Not bad.
Staple of any old school general.
Yeah.
A cigar and some whiskey.
Mm-hmm.
General Patton style.
Yep, that's all he wanted. So when the plane landed, that's what I did. I had to keep track. I couldn't go too far because he liable to have to go right away.
Right, you need to be close.
But when I get there, his clothes, his fatigues were ironed. 'Cause I ironed them and washed them.
Starch.
Yeah.
Stand them straight up.
Oh, yeah. He was a sharp son of a gun. I ain't gonna lie. And everybody wanted to know who was doing your laundry. So, believe it or not, that's what I did when I went overseas.
Okay.
I bought a laundry.
How long did that last? You assisting the general?
1 year.
1 year? Okay.
Yep. And that last time I went there was Vietnam.
Nam.
Yeah, I went to Nam and I stayed a year. But he was gone half the time, and next thing I knew, I was a member of that squadron. Not with him anymore. And that's where I learned a lot of stuff. I saw a lot of things in Nam. I was all over the world. I bought clothes that you just couldn't believe. You know, over in Singapore, they got shark skin shoes. I mean,
Shark skin
shoes.
Alligator, all this
Well,
stuff.
the gators everywhere.
Yeah.
But
Shark skin, I've never heard of this.
Never even heard of that.
And have you ever heard of shark skin suits?
Whole suits.
Yes.
That poor great white.
I was so sharp that when I bought all that stuff and sent it back to
That's got to be a pretty penny. I can't even imagine something like that.
and I had silk shirts. Silk, not no
Cotton.
what do you call
poly-
it? What do you call it? Nero? You
Oh,
remember?
nylon.
Well, they were silk. The guy they call him Nero or something. They had looked like a priest
Okay.
that they wear in China and you know the Chinese. And they were beautiful. And I even bought silk drawers with my name on them.
Wow.
Oh, you was going crazy.
Wow.
I think we make those here.
He was out there on his Ric Flair.
Okay.
Styling and
Yeah.
profiling.
So I went all over because being a cook, what they made me do, we had to take food to what they call a base camp. You
Okay.
fly in the helicopter, they drop the food, or you were in a C-130. No, at that time it was a C-123. And they come down low, open the back end.
Drop the package off.
You sit there, make sure that the chute went off the back, and you had your weapon with you because they were shooting at you when you came in. You never touched the ground.
They were shooting at you when you came in to drop
Came in.
off the food.
Yes, yes.
What did they give you?
War don't
weapon?
stop.
At that time,
You said war don't stop.
but at the time, as a cook, they gave me a carbine.
Okay.
They gave me what they call an M1A1 carbine with a folding stock.
The automatic one.
Yeah.
Ugh.
All automatic, semi-automatic. Okay, the other guys had AR-15s that were in the field. But they figured a cook, you don't need all that.
No.
But it was enough to do what you had to do.
All right.
And you wear a helmet and you wear a jockey strap that's made out of bulletproof stuff.
Yeah.
And I said, why
This is back before Kevlar too.
Yeah, so why I gotta wear this stuff? I found out when them bullets started.
Because they shooting at you.
Yeah, I wore that stuff, you know, and I went on missions where they did some dirty stuff. You know, throw the people out of the helicopters to make them talk.
Yeah, Nam was pretty crazy.
Yep. And one day they made me a tunnel rat.
Oh no. Oh no. Why? You should have definitely said no.
What does that mean?
Well, I was
You don't
gung-ho.
know.
I was gung ho.
I don't.
5% survival rate.
They don't live long.
Not out of 10 guys, maybe 8 to 9 of them won't come back.
Won't come back.
And most of them won't die from gunfire. They'll die from nature. Bugs, centipedes,
well, that's what
poisonous
happened to me.
centipedes, rats.
Of course, they all I had was a 45, a flashlight, and a scarf.
That's all you can take in the tunnels.
And they tied my legs with a rope so they could pull you out.
So they don't lose you in the tunnels.
Yeah.
They tie you with the rope so
Yeah.
they could just pull you.
So in case they don't lose you in the tunnels.
Yeah, because
you will get lost.
You want to get lost, so you go so far. But I went through the tunnel and it came to a T. Excuse me. And I flashed the light to see where I was going, right or left. So naturally right-handed, you're going right. and I noticed I saw a slight movement
Oh no!
over in the right because the light would reflect. And
Please don't say Viet Cong.
No.
Please don't say Viet
It was what do you call it? A python, not a python, but a cobra.
Cobra.
And he was like that. If I had turned, I'd get struck in the forehead.
He was here.
He was in the tunnel.
You lucky that was a cobra, not a python.
Yeah. And so I had the pistol and I shot him.
Oh yeah.
And I pulled the rope. And
Get me out of here.
Get me out of here.
that was it.
Yeah.
That was it. And that was on the base, Da Nang. They bombed the base, and we were trying to figure out how did they get in there. They dug tunnels right up under the base.
Tunnel rats.
Tunnel rat. That was the last time that I did that.
Guerrilla warfare, man. Ain't it
And it
wonderful?
messed me up because I'm, claustrophobic now.
Oh.
I couldn't have did it because I'm super claustrophobic.
So in other words, to a certain extent, you have a level of PTSD a little bit.
Yeah, well, we're working on that now because they have no record of me being in Vietnam.
Excuse me?
They don't have any record of me being, they said my records were lost in a fire. So I had to get the veterans to go through, and they found my records, but it still had me not being in Vietnam.
So where did it place you?
Um,
If you could tell us, because I know
well,
you were.
it doesn't matter because at that time when I was there, we weren't supposed to be there.
Yep, just like you can't tell us.
And so I was in a group. I can tell you the name, Top Dog 5.
Okay.
Okay, well, you had to go through crap to find who Top Dog 5 was. And it was like Mission Impossible. If you got caught, you weren't there.
Roger that.
So that's what happened there. And so I got married in California and children there.
Nice.
And I got discharged and I came back to Detroit. And I worked at Hudson's as a cook. Up on the 12th floor where they had cooks.
So the old building that was downtown.
Yeah.
Okay.
The train station.
No. There was an old building.
Hudson.
It was an old
Jail
shopping
Hudson.
center.
Yeah.
That's where that
Downtown.
new development is out on Woodward.
I thought it was in the train station, but it wasn't.
No, it's literally downtown off of Woodward. That construction area where they building them new condos and stores. That was the old Hudson's building.
Big store.
Big, massive store.
Big store.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People with money would go up on the 12th
Yeah.
floor and eat food.
Yeah.
And I was on the 12th floor.
Marble
cooking.
type building. And
You know, I was a good cook then.
yeah.
And then, like I say, I needed more money because I had another child on the way. And so
That'll do it.
They told me Hudson's is hiring. I mean, Ford Motor Company's hiring. And
So you went at the plant.
Yeah, so
Okay.
I was only making $77 a week. That's what I made at Hudson.
At Hudson's?
But you have to remember, this was in the 60s, early, mid-60s. And that was enough, but, I mean, you couldn't live with a brand new car.
It was just enough.
It was
It was enough to survive.
So you hit Ford.
And I hit Ford's, and I was making $77 at Ford's. And then I worked 40 hours at Ford, and they were bringing home 200. And they were working 6 days a week, 10 hours a day. And I was bringing home...
Oh, my God.
Significant pay increase.
Yeah,
then.
I was bringing home $300+ a week.
And that was enough to have a
That
new
was good
car.
money back
and-
then. That was great money back then.
66, 76,
man.
and 200 and something dollars.
Wasn't
Getting paid for for my wife to have the child and all that stuff. I bought me a 1963 Galaxy 500 XL with a police interception engine in it.
Oh, wait.
out of there.
Oh, wait.
Got the new car, went down I-94 and got pulled over for speed.
Because I couldn't help it.
Man,
I just tapped the gas.
that's all I did was...
Because I couldn't help it. So how long did you stay at Ford?
30 years.
Oh,
wow. Okay.
And then, like I say, the kids were grown. I waited, and I went back into the reserves.
Okay.
And I served 20. So I just served 30 years in the military.
30 years in Ford and
30
30
years
years in the
Two
military.
Yep.
pensions.
Yep. And then I started my own little cleanup business.
Oh, wow.
And that lasted for about 10 years. And then finally, I drove semi and bus travel. And I drove bus semi for 20 years. I always had 3 jobs.
Always had 3 jobs.
Always had 3 jobs.
When did you sleep?
I didn't.
Grind time.
You know, I didn't. And that's what I should have done. Never drank, never smoked, never took dope.
Just didn't sleep.
Even just didn't sleep. And my kids were good. They helped me.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good thing.
And I didn't marry until they were gone. You know, remarry.
Mm-hmm.
They were gone. So, I mean.
So you can
just do what you want to do at that point in time.
So I found a good woman that you saw on my shirt.
the shirt.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And,
The one that's 80, right?
yeah. And I'm 60. But that's what happened. And the military was good. And when I joined the Tuskegee Airmen, you know they were training out at Selfridge.
No, I didn't.
Yeah,
No.
a lot of people
I heard
didn't
a
know.
little bit of that.
Yeah, they
I
were
never
training
knew.
out at Selfridge.
Really?
And I was out at Selfridge, and I didn't know anything about the Tuskegee Airmen at all.
How'd you find out?
Because I happened to be driving down Gratiot and Outer Drive or something,
Okay.
and I saw a P-51 Mustang go over again.
Wow.
And they were stationed at Detroit City, and they're there now.
This is a plane.
Yeah, they're there now. The Detroit chapters.
Are you serious? They're still there?
They're still there.
Wow.
So we have 2 groups from Michigan. We're the only Tuskegee Airmen that has 2 chapters in one state.
Wow.
And our West Bloomfield was nominated the best Tuskegee 2-3 years in a row.
What year did you join?
I joined 2000. I can't remember.
Okay.
It was like
So the early 2000s, basically.
middle, 20. Let's
05,
say 2000.
06?
No, like 2010.
Okay.
And then you quickly moved up the ranks because you're
Quickly.
You're
Yeah.
vice president.
But I was surprised, but I knew what I was doing,
Okay.
you know, and I was in charge of what they have now. Maybe I don't know if I'm skipping over, but it's what we were doing for the community.
Okay.
And we have what we call scholarship for the kids.
Okay.
And we give 5 scholarships just for our chapter
Okay.
of $1,500 for kids that are graduating from high school going into college.
Nice.
Well, how can the kids go about
Applying for it.
applying for
First of all, they have to be a member of the Tuskegee Airmen.
The children?
Yeah, we have a children's bureau for children from 7 to 17, 18 years old.
You could become a
Okay.
Tuskegee Airman at the age of 7?
Yes, for kids,
Okay.
you know. And we have females in the group.
Okay.
And we had one young lady that she joined when she was like about 15.
Okay.
And she was with her and her mother. Now she's in NASA.
Oh, that's awesome.
She's an engineer at NASA now.
That's awesome.
She got the, when people were giving us money and stuff, we sent her to school and a scholarship, book scholarship. And the other girl, she is a helicopter pilot in the Army.
Oh, wow.
Flying the big joker with all the guns, you know.
Wow.
And so, but I don't want to sound like I'm being mad, but the black male won't take advantage of it.
What do you mean by that?
He wants to be a rapper or a basketball player or a football player. That's all he wants.
I heard that there was a stigma that
They're
early in the years that the Army wasn't really a place for a black man.
Yeah,
back then.
It really isn't.
It really isn't.
At that time, it wasn't. But it's either join a gang or get paid low. In the Army, you learn to trade. You could go to school. The Army paid for me to go to Wayne State University.
You went to Wayne State?
I went to Wayne State. When I was in California, I went to University of Riverside. Uncle Sam paid for it all.
So you don't have any student debt?
No, not a thing.
Because I have mounds of it.
How long?
I have mounds of it.
And my wife, she's chief master sergeant. She's retired.
Wow. So she can pull rank too.
So, yeah.
How long were you in school?
It took me 4 years.
Okay, the standard 4 years.
Took
Okay.
me 4 years. Well, she's got 2 associates and I think 2 masters.
Okay.
And 2 masters?
2 masters. And she was going for her doctor.
You both are some busy individuals.
Yeah, we are.
You guys just keep it going. Keep it running.
But see, both of her and I were in the same squadron.
Oh, nice. Nice.
So we traveled all over the world.
Together.
Yep. Then sometimes she went to the Persian Gulf for 3 years.
Ooh.
And I was scheduled to go, but I had to stay back because of my rank.
Okay.
Because someone has to keep track of who's where. If somebody needs Red Cross, things like that, somebody had to be
Okay.
superintendent of my squadron. I had to make sure that they got paid. You know what I'm saying? The people that were there, they had to be fed.
Okay. So you were administrative
So,
services.
yeah,
Okay. Nice.
that was there. But then when she got out, she made superintendent, chief master. She was the first black chief master.
Yeah.
I was the first black first sergeant.
That is
Master
awesome.
sergeant. you
That
know.
is awesome. That's doing a lot. That's saying a lot.
And-
How did you guys feel with the? Because I know you said you both would travel together, being a part of the same squadron.
Okay.
How does the separation when she went to the Persian Gulf? Did it affect you guys really? Did it put a hamper in the relationship?
because
or?
we knew that was part of the job.
Okay.
And if you are in love with your wife, all this other stuff, going here, doing that. Well, see, I still had grandchildren
Okay.
and great grandchildren. You know, so
So you just couldn't stop because of them.
yeah,
Too
I
many people
stayed
depending
busy.
on you.
And then there were things that I like to do: sleep late, get up,
Me too.
go to the movies, go around the house in drawers and t-shirts.
Oh, we all love that one.
I love these things.
Don't answer the phone.
Yes.
That was me. And then
Don't answer the phone.
yeah. Because I knew when she was calling because it was on a certain line.
Okay. Okay.
You know,
So everyone else didn't really matter.
Everything else just didn't matter.
everything was good. Well, I'm gonna tell you, too much togetherness is not right. She's
Too much
gotta-
of anything
yeah,
is not
she's
right.
got
much
to
of
have her
anything.
space. You got to have your space.
Absolutely.
She's got to have her money. You got to have your money.
Absolutely.
And then you got money together.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's something. And try not to go to bed mad.
I've heard that before.
Try not
And I
to.
think you're like the second or third person that's ever
Sometimes
said that.
it's so damn hard. It's so hard. But like I said, I got a ranch on 1/4 of an acre.
Nice.
I got a full basement with everything I need, like you have here.
Nice.
I get down there and close it up, and I hear her knocking. You're making too much noise. 'Cause, you know, I got a 3D television and the big 65-inch. Now she wants an 84 now.
Oh, she's got a one up.
I
Huh?
didn't even know they made those.
Yeah, she want an 84.
Yeah, after
now.
that is like projector.
Yeah,
Type
well, we
of-
got a projector too.
Oh, see, now you guys are just
Yeah, she ain't no slouch.
Now, have you flown?
Yes, I have flown. I have a what do you call it, civilian's pilot's license.
okay.
What all have you flown?
I have flown. Started with a Cessna 120. I'm trying to think. It's been
Years.
50-something years ago. But I flew. Tuskegee taught me out at Detroit City Airport.
Okay.
They taught you how to fly here.
Yeah, here.
What type of training?
Wait,
do you-
hold on.
Hey, wait. We'll get into it. We'll get into it. Because
We can just go to the city and learn how to fly.
yeah, actually, no. Where are they teaching people how to fly in
The
Detroit?
city airport.
There's a building right there that will see Tuskegee Airmen.
Wow.
It's
There
a
is.
new building, and it's a hangar.
It is.
Wow.
You see it on the sign when you
see
get to
it.
the airport.
You see it. And you go inside and you see the airplanes. You see the P-51 Mustang. You see the Mustang car.
You guys got the P-51 out there? Oh, my God.
So like
That
I say,
dog fighting machine.
So when they had the
That's a
P-51,
dog fighter?
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
They had the P-51 Mustang out there.
Luftwaffe
And
beware.
so I went to get in it. Okay. I was 119 pounds when I first got into it. Well, I'm up there now. I had to go.
Oh, wow.
Tight space.
Yeah. Well, that was without the parachute.
Oh, wow.
That was without the parachute.
Yeah. See, back
Kind of
then,
learn how to squeeze in a tight
yeah.
spaces.
Well,
being in the
before then,
service.
you had the parachute on.
Okay.
The newer planes, they have an injection seat.
Yeah. The parachute's built into the seat.
Yeah, it's built into the seat.
So that's when you pour the thing and the thing pops out of the seat.
Yeah.
So what did you do back then? You just have to jump out the plane?
Yes.
And sometimes,
No.
yeah.
Yes.
And
It's already
sometimes
strapped to you.
Yeah.
a lot of
Well,
times.
sometimes it happens. You have to crawl out. If you're shot, it's hard.
Yeah.
And then if you make it wrong, you hit the tail.
Yeah.
And the tail.
No, what are you talking about? No.
tail of the aircraft.
You eject, but the plane is still going while you're stopping in midair. So
Yeah.
the tail will hit you in
It'll hit
midair
you.
while continuously going.
So how do you make sure that doesn't happen?
The ejector
Just
seat
dumb
just
luck?
shoots you off like a bullet
ejector
now.
seat shoots
Instead
you
of
up
just
in the
letting
air.
you go.
Oh,
it just-
okay.
it
So
shoots
you could jump out and get hit by the tail, but that's why. Oh,
That's why the
okay.
seats just shoot you out now.
Or you can get caught.
Yeah.
The parachute, when it opens up, can get caught on the tail.
Yeah.
And once it get caught, you can forget it. When it go down,
That
you
shoot
go
is
down.
done for. There's nothing you
But
do.
they do have a reserve. But you got to cut that loose.
I thought it was the second shoot.
No, that's the big one.
Oh,
And then if that doesn't work, you get shot down or whatever. You got the reserve. And if that one doesn't work,
Goodbye.
well, what they say, bend your head over, kiss your ass goodbye.
what type of training do you have to go through for learning how to fly? I have a terrible fear of heights, so
For private license, it's about
You're disqualified
40,
already.
40 hours. 40 hours.
That's not bad.
Flight time and book time. But it's degrees of not just flying. You have to get how to control, talk to the control tower.
okay.
There's runway training, and there's navigation.
Okay.
You got to learn how nighttime navigation, because if you get enough, you can take off when it's sunny, and 10 minutes you can't see nothing. You don't know where you are, so you got to learn your instruments. And here's the killing part: my wife didn't even know I was a pilot.
Oh, wow.
She didn't even know and she didn't know that until the kids were saying, "Dad, do you still fly?" And then my daughter said, "Yeah." He used to take us up, and when we get sick, I make her sick, but she still go up.
Oh no, you loop the loop
Yeah, all that stuff, yeah.
No, none of that.
She still go up,
No.
And then I said, "Don't tell Mama. Don't tell Mama."
Well, too late.
We get home, and she started talking,
I'd have snitched.
and it come right out. I say to myself,
He turned the plane upside down, mama.
I threw up.
because we'd be flying over Belle Isle, and she'd say, I say, "Did you see that?" She said, "No."
There's no restrictions for that or nothing. You could just fly this plane like that.
There's certain, you have to have a flight plan,
Yeah.
and you have to have a certain, what do you call it, altitude.
Okay.
Okay, if you're going east and west, it's like 12,500. If you're going another direction, north and south, it's like 13,500, 15,500.
Is this so aircraft don't hit each other?
That's correct.
Yeah.
Okay.
When you're going this way, you're like,
Certain type of aircraft,
I always
certain
wondered
type
that.
of altitudes they
Yeah.
can go to. Like you wouldn't expect a single a little propeller engine to go 30,000 feet.
No.
So no, the answer is no.
and
Certain
here
planes for different things.
you have to be like, I think it's 12,000 in the city area. You can't go any higher.
Yeah.
And the jets coming in, there's a what they call a fly zone, like flying into metro. You can't be in that area unless
You'll
you
pop
talk
up
to
on
the
radar.
tower.
You'll pop up on
Yeah,
radar.
and you have to talk to and set all your response. When you take off, there's a runway with a number. Like 06, and it's right or left. If it's 2, that's when you set your compass to whatever the runway is, and that's your focal point. And so when you take off, and it's like '06, and you come back around, which would be 180. So now it's what? 286, and that's your heading to get back to where you were.
Okay.
No, all this sounds terrible.
Yeah, degrees. You know,
All this
'cause
sounds.
when you're on the street, you follow 8 miles, 7 miles, 6 miles, 5 miles.
But when you're in the air, you follow degrees.
You follow the degrees.
Hmm.
So if you're going and you take off and it's like it's 06 and you're coming back, so you add 180 degrees to your 6. That means that you turn around and you should be coming back to where you take off.
Yeah.
I'll get you now.
So what's one of like the scariest things that happened to you while you were flying? Like, cause
The engine shut off.
Yeah, that'll scare the hell out you for sure.
Fire.
What do you mean? Like,
We had
no, I want to know what you mean by the engine shut off in the sky. My engine can shut off on the freeway, and I'm terrified. You were
well, there are certain things that you can do.
like what?
pray.
First of all, put your engine to idle, and and make sure that you don't have your angle of attack too high where it'll stall. When it stalls, it just falls.
So basically, don't fight gravity then.
Yeah, don't fight gravity, and you start all over just like you were on the ground. You know, start all over, and most of the time it starts.
Because what do you mean by
That's not a
most?
guarantee. You said most of the time.
Most of the time.
Most?
You know? but see,
Is that what they tell you? And
no,
it's
it's a fact. Most of the time it will start.
most of the time.
So-
Just like your
What
car,
do
if
you-
it stalls on you, okay, what do you have to do? You have to put it in neutral. You don't want to put it in park because you know
It might not turn back on.
Yeah.
yes.
How do you know it's time to get out?
It'll stop. You know your gears and stuff.
Yeah, that's it.
But you know that you can start your car in park if it's standing still, or you can start it in neutral.
If it's yeah.
Now, if you had a,
That's how they steal cars.
yeah. Now, if you have a stick shift like I have, my Dodge Ram, okay,
Are you driving a stick shift?
yeah,
Oh,
4x4, 5.7 liter Hemi.
Ric Flair.
I drive a Mercury Milan. And this man get pulled up for speeding tickets.
And so, like I'm saying, if it stalls on you, all you have to do is put it in a lower gear, and it'll start over again.
Now, a lot of those engines in those old planes had modified car engines, weren't they? More so back then than they are now.
No, back then,
So, I know they used to use Rolls-Royce
Rolls-Royce
engines.
and all, but the Rolls-Royce still makes them now.
Okay.
But they're entirely different.
Yeah.
The Rolls Royce was a plane engine.
Yeah.
Yeah, they make.
Yeah.
You know, out here at Willow Run, they've done a lot.
Yeah.
But like I say, a little bit later, after I flown a Cessna 210, which was a 2-engine, which is still out there, Detroit City Airport.
Okay.
And then when I joined the military, then I told you I worked with the general and officers. And
Yeah.
I sure would like to take a ham home. You know, my kids could use some milk, you know. And so, well, you know, I'm flying to Key West next weekend. I'm leaving Friday and be back Monday.
Oh,
You know when I'll be back.
yeah. When I'll be back.
You know when I leave.
Yeah.
Well, talk more about the organization, the Tuskegee Airmen Bloomfield organization, your community outreach. What else do you guys do?
Well, like I say, we are with the kids. We have golf outings. We have trying to teach the kids how to do golfing. The fella that you have on the back of my shirt, he makes golf courses, but he passed away.
He was building the golf courses.
No, building the clubs and for the kids.
Oh, okay.
They would measure, from the elbows or whatever.
Oh, custom golf club.
Custom golf clubs.
Really?
Yeah, and for the members.
Wow.
Like I say, my wife got a whole beautiful set. I ain't used them yet.
Why would you?
But if you're a
They're
member,
one of a kind.
Yeah, so we're trying to get the golf club going again.
Okay.
But when he passed away, his wife sold all of the things he made them in his garage. Everything. Okay. And so some of the kids, they did it, and they got clubs, and Some of us have clubs, and we didn't pay nothing.
Wow.
You know, that was something he would do. You know, like we have electricians that will come to your house and, you know, put in plugs and stuff because you're a member.
Sweet.
You know, I take wedding pictures and stuff like that, you know. And then I used to do shuttling. You know, and I was a baker and I'm a cook and I was damn good. And so I used to bake. Matter of fact, I catered for Ford Motor Company.
Wow. So from catering with generals to catering for Ford himself, basically.
And then I drove charter bus limos. I went to the Super Bowl.
Wow.
You know, for the people high up at GM.
Yeah.
And I drove for them. And all of them had brand new Super Bowl jackets, leather. You can smell the leather.
Oh, wow.
Speaking of jackets, you came in with a really, really cool one. Can we show the people that? You came in a really... Now, is that...
You're only gonna get that if you're a member.
You only get this jacket if you're a member? Y'all check this out. Okay. This is...
Yeah, that's a really nice jacket.
The back.
The Red Tails? What's the Red Tails 332? Is that the plane?
P-51 Mustang.
That's the Mustang.
Yeah.
You call it it's a Red Tail.
Red Tails, yeah. Well, that was the group that they gave Tuskegee. I thought we would go through that so you know why they call it the Red Tails.
No, I don't. Why do they call it that?
Okay, well, in Italy, where they were stationed, they, well, first let me show you the front if you can. I should have put it on a hanger. As you see, your name, where you've been.
That's a sweet jacket.
It really is.
And see,
It's a very sweet jacket.
You know, so it is, and you can't get it anymore. They don't make them, so they're bringing out a new one, a bomber jacket that they wore back then. You know, with the fleece lining inside.
Oh
but
God,
that's running about $500.
Actual bomber.
Every
jacket.
That's where they get the term from, bomber jackets.
Bomber
Bomber
jackets,
coming
yeah.
Air Force World War II.
Because that's what they wore.
Bomber jackets.
But they were warm, fleece, you know, because it was cold up there. They didn't have no heater.
No, not back then. Ain't no heater like that. No, it was barely hot. What's some things in the old houses? The hot water. Oh my God.
Ain't no furnace and no jet.
No heaters. You might get some.
So that's why they was wearing scarves and a whole because it's cold up there.
Well, like I say, if you had seen my uniform when I was in SAC, SAC was sharp. You know, I had the blue scarf on and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And my uniforms were they call them back then. It was called Eisenhower jackets. They were short at the waist.
Okay.
That's as far as they got. And they were just one color. For summer, they call it, what they call it? They were beige. And then you had all green. You probably seen that now with all the little marking. It was green. That was your fatigues. And as you got
straight up
rank,
Army green.
Yeah, straight up Army green. And then when you made like tech sergeant, master, chief, like that, you had what you call gabardines.
I don't even know what that is.
Those are the top of the uniforms.
Gabardines?
Soft and all that, you know. And they had the crease down here and the beautiful belts and shiny shoes. I mean, gabardines. So when you saw gabardines, you know that they had rank.
Nice.
You know they had rank. And, I mean... If you saw me in the uniform that I wore back then, you say, "You sure you weren't in the Civil War?" You know, they're old. Like I said, if I bought pictures of you back then, you would say, "Wow, I've never seen a uniform. Who's that?" That was us.
Shoot,
So
I look at the digital camo now, and that's getting kind of old at this point, at this stage.
Well, I have old cameras. I have the old, what do you call it? Kodak and the Bell and Howell that have the square flash cubes in it.
Oh, wow.
So I've got a lot.
You had to replace the light bulb in there.
Yeah,
and
I got all that stuff, you know.
And a what?
The old school cameras back during that time, you had to
flash,
screw a light bulb in.
It was a flash bulb. You had to wet the tip.
Yeah.
And stick it in there and turn it.
Yeah.
And then when you shoot it, you had to take it out, put another one in, you know.
Because it'll blow.
That boof. Yeah.
So, but that was part of it. But a little bit later, being that I was able to fly, they would let me fly, but I wasn't certified.
But they still let you fly?
Yeah, but you could not land the aircraft, and you could not take off in the aircraft.
Oh, well, being in the air is the easy part.
Yeah, landing.
That's
and
the
take
easy
off.
part. Landing and taking off is the hard part.
Are you certified now?
No.
No.
I can't even drive a car now because of my age. You know, I have to.
For any of you law enforcement, you didn't hear that.
I do want to ask though, as a person who's done both,
when you
I hear flying is technically safer. So
it is. Yeah.
So you feel safer flying than driving?
You better believe it.
What's bigger, the sky or the street?
No. I hear that all the time, but that is. But you feel safer flying than driving?
Yeah, because I'm going to tell you that most pilots are not going up drunk.
Nope.
But there are a lot of drunk drivers.
Oh, there are a lot of drunk pilots too. But but the thing is that
autopilot comes into play. Now.
Yeah, it comes into play.
A lot of times when after that takeoff, they switch to autopilot.
Autopilot,
and they just
it takes care of.
Do
everything.
you remember when that happened?
Yeah,
when the autopilot.
Shoot. That's how I got to fly. They go and lay down and go to bed, you know, and shoot, take it. My flight name was I just thought when you fly on your helmet.
What's the flight name?
My flight name,
your tag name
was.
Okay.
What they identify?
It was so long I haven't used it. It was Junior Flip.
Junior Flip.
Yeah, Junior Flip.
How did you get that name?
Yeah, how?
The WAF called me that. Junior Flip.
Is it because you were doing all those barrel rolls?
No. I believe it or not, at times I could flip some eggs in a minute, boy.
Oh yeah.
And so at night,
not the cook name in the sky.
Yeah.
Junior Flip.
You do your own name. And so I just decided to use Junior Flip. Somebody's flipping the light.
Yeah.
We're getting close.
Yeah.
But so that
well, tell us more about the Tuskegee Airmen, West Bloomfield. What else do you guys do?
Well, naturally we have. We're trying to get food banks like this. We're trying to other things, but sometimes you just can't get the people to start something to keep it going. That's the pride, I think, with a lot of places. We like to have drivers that would take senior citizens to appointments and stuff. I did that. Okay. And some people, older people, want to get to the airport.
Okay.
We're available. We take them to the airport. You know, my mama's in your Tuskegee and your mother wants to go somewhere, so you take her. You know, that's what we do. And then there's also...
Wait. What do you mean by that? Your mom must go somewhere and you take her...
You're like a Uber for the
Tuskegee.
Tuskegee.
For the organization.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They have their own little taxi service. Their own limousine service.
Oh, okay.
So if you got, you know, and then sometimes you have somebody that going to get graduation, and they need a driver. So you take the kids, and sometimes they're things like in July we have this thing out at Belle Isle. We had 10,000 kids. And we fed them breakfast and lunch, and they learned about Tuskegee and other things. Nice. You know, other people that have restaurants, cameras like you have. They learn trades, and then they sign up, and then some of them join. Some of them come once or twice, and then they disappear.
Okay.
But there's a lot of things. We have people that are lawyers, bricklayers, cooks, nurses.
You guys are really giving out opportunities here.
Yeah.
Literally.
And so we try to get them to, I'm a mentor.
Okay.
For a fella, you know. and I was trying to get him to do good, and his mother said he's doing great. But then he was out at Detroit City Airport, and his uncle got shot.
Oh.
And the bullet went through his uncle's head and missed him, and he's sitting there seeing that.
Oh.
And he got out the car and started running down Gratiot, and cars were just missing him, and he ain't been right since.
Oh, wow.
And he's a good kid. So, things like that happen. Then we had young ladies that they learn about how to type, bookkeeping, how to be a lady,
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
makeup. What's her name? Rhonda Walker.
Okay.
I'm trying to think the fella's name. He's a newscaster, Channel 4.
Now the flight school is open to women as well too, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, because I know they women nowadays like to do.
Yeah, they do.
They like to have a little bit more fun.
Yeah, they have a little more fun. They're not. They don't want to raise babies.
So if I want to join the Tuskegee Airmen or the flight school, what steps do I have to take to do that?
First of all, join us.
Well, how do we go about doing that? Is there a website or?
No, yeah, there is, but like for me, your boss, my man right there, he was joining us. Up at the top, the picture.
Fearless leader.
Yeah,
Fearless leader's about to be a Tuskegee Airman.
yeah, but he.
Are you gonna give him a bomber jacket?
You have to pay him. Them jackets are expensive. Matter of fact,
He likes that.
yeah, we were going to have him work with us to make shirts and jackets and stuff like that, but it never transpired because of the when they had that what do you call COVID?
Pandemic.
The
COVID.
pandemic.
Oh, the pandemic.
Yeah, and it never transpired. And then, as you see, he has done a lot.
Yeah, it didn't used to look
lot,
like this.
yeah.
Compared to what it was. Mm-hmm. And so,
A lot of progress.
so we tried to tell the people at Tuskegee that he is a businessman.
He is.
He just can't cut corners just because he's a member.
He is.
He's a businessman. Now, if he's able, he will. If he can't, don't get mad at him and call him names and all that stuff. You know how people are.
Yeah.
So he's joining the Tuskegee Airmen.
We're trying to get him back in, but he's, like I say, you see he's adding every day.
He's pretty
Yeah.
busy.
It
He's
gets busy.
busy.
It gets very busy.
So, but we would like to have new jackets made up
Okay.
There's always room to negotiate, though.
because I can tell you, China, forget about them. They want all the money.
They do, and they might actually get it.
And when I join the Airmen, I get to learn flying and
you will we will get to people that will show you how, and they will give you a break because you are a Tuskegee.
Okay.
But it's gonna run you, believe it or not, about I'm trying to think how much in the ballpark, just for a pilot's a regular pilot's license, flying a Cessna.
I actually don't know how much a pilot's license is.
Well, it's going to be, I would say, a minimum of $6,000, a minimum, and that's just learning the bear. But as you go up, you're going to find out that you got to learn how to navigate. You got to learn this and that. You got to learn how to fix your engine. You got to learn how a lot of
Communication,
things.
all that stuff.
And it's costs a lot of money.
They teach you maintenance on the plane too.
Yeah.
You got to know basic maintenance.
You're supposed to learn how to fix your car to a certain degree.
Supposed to. Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
So, but then the FAA makes sure that you know what you're doing, and they inspect it and they charge you.
Just as long as you can start your plane in midair, you'll be all right.
But it costs a lot to put your car.
That story is crazy.
It costs a lot to park your car out at Detroit City and other airports. It's not cheap.
No, it's not.
It's almost like an apartment building.
Yeah.
And sometimes you park them outside where the wind, if you want it inside, that's even more.
Before we go, can I ask you one last question? Where did your want to fly come from? You said you always.
I've always seen airplanes, and even movies. Anything about an airplane, I would go see. and I lived out on Pennsylvania and Warren, which is near the Detroit City Airport.
Okay.
And I would go out there and watch the planes take off. They were busy. At one time, it was a commercial where people from other cities would land at Detroit City Airport.
Yeah.
But then they started bringing in bigger jets, and Detroit City couldn't handle them.
I do know a few celebrities use the city airport.
But now
celebrities, politicians, they might use that.
Well, they go to Oakland now. Yeah. Out on what is it, M59 or whatever it is, okay. Oakland Community. Okay, well they can handle the 747. That's where the president lands sometime, and Trump. That's where he lands out there.
Yeah, and they don't go to Metro like that.
Yeah, they don't go to Metro.
No, that's ghetto.
Yeah.
Let's get on to them.
But now Metro is number 5 as far as airports in the world.
Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah.
People would rather go to lay over in Detroit than to go to Chicago or Atlanta.
And you know what? They really are trying to build up Detroit.
They are.
They're really trying to build up Detroit.
They doing
a
it.
lot.
They doing it.
Well, you see the street signs downtown for the draft.
No, I just passed that thing up the other day on Livernois.
They brought out the fine china, literally. They brought out the best of the best.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways.
And let me tell you something else, and we'll get finished talking.
Yeah.
They have actually cleaned the freeways.
They have.
No bumpers. No.
They have.
Caps.
I haven't seen debris like that. Not getting close to downtown.
I wish they had fixed the roads.
No, it's all over.
I mean, they're doing
actually,
that.
They're actually doing that too.
They're fixing the roads.
You got 80 years worth of infrastructure to do. It's gonna take time.
They're fixing.
You got
everything.
80 years of infrastructure.
So I really appreciate you taking time out of your busy day to be here. And even more than that, I really appreciate you walking so that we could fly. Because,
Definitely.
Mm-hmm. But there's one thing that I would like to say quick.
What is it?
And I'm just going to give you a basic about the Tuskegee in whole.
Please.
Okay. Now, first of all, it's from 1941 to 1949, and it was called the Army, not the Air Force, Army Air Force. And they were at Tuskegee, Alabama. That's how they got the name Tuskegee. There's a college called Tuskegee. And they were in 3 groups. They were called the Red Tails. It was 99 Pursuit, the 332nd Fighter Group, and the 477th Bomber Group. Mm-hmm. And like I say, they were in Ragatuli, where they painted the airplanes red because they didn't have no paint.
That's why I was painted red?
Well, they had nothing to paint the airplanes.
Okay.
They had old airplanes.
Yeah, they gave him the leftovers.
The leftovers.
The hand-me-downs.
And they had to, take parts from the old plane to make it. So that happened. Now, you're wondering how the Tuskegee became famous?
Yeah.
Okay, well, they said that they couldn't fly. Black people had no substance to fly. They were monkeys.
And then they scared the little
Okay,
waffle.
so what happened was, you've heard of Ida B. Wells?
Yes.
Okay, she was in friends with Eleanor Roosevelt.
Nice.
And Eleanor...
Powerful woman, man.
So Eleanor Roosevelt was with Ida B. Wells.
Very
and
powerful.
I guess she picked up some soul.
Wow.
So Ida B. talked to her about the black pilots. Now, the first black female pilot, her name was Mildred Carter.
Okay.
She was the first Tuskegee Airmen female pilot. And but as far as it came with what's her name? We were just speaking about
Wells.
Ida Wells,
Ida B. Wells.
and Eleanor Roosevelt. Mm-hmm. Well, she wanted to find out for herself
if we could fly.
So she told her husband, who was the president, that she was going to Tuskegee to see if this was true. Okay, naturally, they had a white pilot. Mm-hmm. She said no.
Didn't that make the movie?
Yeah,
that made the movie.
It was
Red
in the
Tails.
movie. Yeah,
that made that story made the cut.
So he was supposed to just take off, go around the field, and land. Okay, she had never been in an airplane like that. 45 minutes later, she come back. He done flew her to Alabama and Mississippi and all that up in the clouds and let her handle it, you know. And
The president's wife.
Yeah. Well, they told him, and I'm going to tell you just like they said. He said, President, do you know your wife is up there with a... Now, this is true. This ain't no fiction. And he was raising hell, but she stopped him in cold. And that's when they got their recognition. And they changed it from that to the Army Air Corps. And they got brand new airplanes. And they flew the bombers. They did not lose too many bombers. Matter of fact, each time a bomber went down, they lost 900. They were losing 500 and 600 bombers every time they go out.
Out of 10 of them, they were losing about 7 to 8 of them.
Yeah, so they were losing.
The Red Tails came in, that number dropped to maybe about 3 to 4 out of 10.
And the killing part about it, they didn't know that black people were flying the airplanes.
Yeah. They did not know. In midair, they didn't
They
know
did not
who
know.
was shooting down.
Yeah, they busy trying to keep them. And
What the world knew at the time was the best pilots on the planet, the German Luftwaffe. And them boys came out there and were whooping they A-double snakes.
And all these little tricks that they used to, the Luftwaffe couldn't keep up with them. They could dive and pull
Outmaneuver.
G's and all these little things that you see do. They did it.
And that allowed Berlin to get bombed.
And so them guys, they wouldn't go up until they knew that the 332nd and the 99th and the bomber group were going. They knew they were black.
Is that what's on the logo? The 99 and the 332? Those are planes?
No, those are the squadrons.
Oh, those are squadrons.
Yeah, the squadrons.
Oh, okay.
And so, no, they didn't want to go. But
Well, without them Red Tails up there.
Yeah, they wanted the Red Tails. And so they gave them the brand new Jokers with the, what do you call it, superpower and all that stuff. And
Was it that Spitfire?
no, these were the P-51 Mustang, but Spitfires were, if I'm not mistaken, Germany, not Germany, but England.
Oh, yeah, that was
they
the
had
Royal
the
Air Corps.
Messerschmitts.
Yeah, they had
They had
that was the Royal
Messerschmitts,
Air
you know,
Corps.
and they were afraid to go up. The Japanese were afraid to go up.
Yeah.
You know, and they were good. But like we say, you have to realize when we say Tuskegee Airmen, there was a group of pilots, but they have people that have to support. You know, the cooks, the ambulance, the drivers, the nurses, the policemen, stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's the whole Tuskegee. But actually, they function on the pilots. And there were actually 1,000 pilots, but there were thousands of people that supported the pilots. So that's what you have to remember when the people say, yeah, I'm a Tuskegee Airman, but I was not a flyer, I was a supporter.
You're part of the team.
Part of the team.
And I was part of the team. And so, but I am a registered Tuskegee, but the real people are called DOTAs.
DOTAs?
Yeah, and DOTA means that they were documented original Tuskegee Airmen, DOTA, D-O-T-A. And they were a special group. And so basically, that's it. And they had a lot of prejudice when they got home. And
Oh, of course. Welcome back to the United States.
yeah, and that's why a lot of black guys stayed in Germany, in Switzerland, and Austria, because they were treated good. Why come back? And if we had more time, I could tell you a lot more stuff that might irritate a lot of people.
We just killed off people who were doing the same thing that they would do to me if I went back home.
Yeah.
Why go back home? And I just was killing people like this.
And so, like, you may remember, and I'm going to let this go, and if you have more questions to ask me, back in the 50s, they killed this boy called Emmett Till.
Emmett.
And believe it or not, I walked across the bridge where Martin Luther King and all of them, and when I walked across the bridge where I got to where they stopped, I started crying, and I don't know why. I just started crying. It was like I felt their pain from that bridge, and I'm not a crier per se, but I just started boo-hooing.
Overwhelming.
Yeah, overwhelming.
I would imagine it's like that for certain Jews going back to certain German lands. It's like, I'm not going there. No,
So,
not going there.
if you got one more time, there's one thing that I want to tell you, and you're going to laugh.
Please.
You heard of Top Gun.
Yep.
Okay. That is false as a $4 bill.
Yeah, science even says that's false. Yeah.
Wait a minute. That is an American classic. Y'all got it.
Yeah, but
Y'all got it.
But that's not the
Wait
classic.
a minute.
I can tell you personally because I spoke to the Tuskegee that were in Top Gun. They won the first Top Gun.
Yeah.
And they did not give them their trophies until 50 years later when a Hispanic lady that was cleaning a room at Nellis Air Force Base that was locked, she went back there and there was the trophy.
Wow.
They just didn't give it to them.
Didn't give it to them, but we gave it to the men when they gave it to us. They gave it to our group, and we gave it to the originals. We gave it to them.
Wow.
And I spoke to them originally, so I know for a fact.
Wow.
All these maneuvers that they did,
Yeah.
all the G's that they could pull that the other men couldn't pull.
Yeah.
One of the tactics that you've probably seen on TV, where they're behind you, they got you. You pull the speed brake, which opens up and it stops,
Speed
and
bleed.
they go right by you.
Yeah.
Tuskegee Airmen.
Yeah.
That's the Tuskegee Airmen.
That's a
That's their
Tuskegee
move.
tactic. Yeah.
And
I've heard about that.
y'all heard it here on the CYPT podcast that the Tuskegee Airmen
Revolutionized air combat.
and
Dog fighting.
Top Gun was fake.
Dog fight.
So it wasn't Tom Cruise.
Dog fight.
Nah. Tuskegee Airmen.
And we're supposed to be giving him a birthday party.
Tom Cruise?
No, one of the black Top Gun.
Oh, that's
from
awesome.
Tuskegee
That's
Airmen.
nice.
And we're trying to work on that to celebrate it. It's 100th birthday.
Let us know about that. We'd like to be a part of that.
Yeah, so we're going
Alright.
to try to get that straight.
How do people
It's his centennial.
how do people get involved? Like become a Tuskegee Airman? You were telling me like
Okay,
mayor is a
well,
Tuskegee
I've got
Airman.
cards with you that you can call me, and when you call and it goes to voicemail, say who you are, because if I see the number and I don't recognize it, I don't respond.
Well, what about other people out there that don't necessarily know you? Because I know you'll leave the cards with us, but you know we know you,
Well, you
but
get
they
on
don't
your,
personally
yeah,
know you.
You get on your computer and you go to Tuskegee Airmen, and there's top ORG, and it will let you know who to call, and it will tell you everything that you need, the numbers that you need to call, and it's the what you call the headquarters.
Okay, so
if you-
TuskegeeAirmen.org.
Something, yeah, it's
Okay.
like that.
Okay.
But if you want to get here in Detroit, you would look up the Detroit chapter or the Bloomfield, West Bloomfield Hill,
It was Bloomfield.
and
Okay.
I would give you some cards here, and if somebody asks, then you know that. But we're trying to get on television to let them know, and we used to get help as far as money, but we need our own place.
Understandable.
Because if they have war, civilians can't go in there.
No.
And where are we going? Are we going to your house?
Well, thank you so much, sir.
Okay.
This has been actually very enlightening.
Yeah.
Love the information, and hope people are better off informed now that they've heard what the Tuskegee Airmen are all about. A little bit of history lesson.
Can't wait to get one of those cards from you, sir.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Let me see that.
Because I got them right here in my pocket.
Let me get one.
Is it in this pocket? Or is it in this pocket? Or is it in my wallet? I think it's in my wallet here.
It's in the wallet.
Yeah. You get old, I got so many damn pockets. There ain't no money in none of them.
That wallet's cool.
Yeah, it is.
Wait a minute. Because I know I put the cards in there for that reason. One more thing. And it's got to be here. And if I didn't, then
There we go. Oh yeah, we're gonna need all those.
Zoom in.
Not that far. Can you read it off?
Yep. Second Vice President, West Bloomfield Chapter, Tuskegee Airmen, Mr. Donald Renfroe Sr., 313-418-8127, or Tootie for me.
That's my email.
At AOL.com. Tootie for me. TOOTIE for me, the number 2, at AOL.com. That is how you can get in touch with the Vice President of the Tuskegee Airmen of West Bloomfield.
Yeah. Do you research people? Tap in, learn something. You know,
Yep.
learn something every day.
Boogie?
But can I say this one thing?
Oh, yeah.
If you want to join, it's not guaranteed that you're going to be in there because we background check.
Bring your A game.
Yes. So if you got a felony or something of that nature, you've been smoking the good stuff,
I have.
you ain't getting in.
So I can't go. Okay, I understand.
I'm gonna tell you that.
I understand. All right. So don't even. I got you.
Don't even.
Not a problem. I completely scared of flying. Boogie.
You have just listened to the Can You Picture This podcast? The podcast for the strongest, fastest, most powerful t-shirt/print shop on this side of the Eastern Seaboard. You can catch us in the heart of Detroit, Greenfield and Grand River, Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. Our address is 14223 Greenfield Road, Detroit, Michigan 48227. Our phone number is 313-273-5000.